It's Sonia Barrett once again, and I thought I would probably talk a little bit about the getting through the challenges of the human experience, the human game on a daily basis. I think that we can never discuss that enough because obviously, on a daily basis or a moment to moment basis, we are getting through the human experience and encountering all sorts of challenges. Some days are less than others, but nonetheless, we can all agree on that fact that we deal with that. And I think, and because of all the emails I do get with people experiencing so many different things in their lives and just really trying to get through it. I think one of the things that I am grateful for, and it is ultimately a gift, is the fact that I have lived through so many experiences. I have definitely made it through some deep valleys from, yes, from, as they call it, domestic violence to um, being absolutely down and out to, like the experience of living in my car. Um, and it's allowed me to understand what people are dealing with and to be able to honestly share from a perspective, not just from a philosophical perspective, but from a true perspective of understanding what it is, what it's like to find yourself in all kinds of situations and trying to figure out how to pull yourself out. In my case, I I sweetened the pot, the journey, and the experience by having, two children that I had to get through a lot of those crazy, challenging experiences with, and certainly the experiences that I've dealt with even after they were grown. But what I do know is this: every single one of your experiences, every single one of my experiences it's led me to what I understand today. So it comes down to how you interpret the things that you've gone through. And as I've said before, it's not about regret. I don't regret any of my life because I realized that things lined up in that manner um, for a reason. Again, this does not mean that everybody has to go through any of this kind of chaos. For whatever reason, for me, it was the way that would propel me, that would really push me into wanting to understand and to discover how I can transcend into greater levels of freedom. So that's what I want to say first and foremost. You've got to stop and recognize that all the predicaments, all the situations that you've gone through, they've happened for a reason. Now, the question is, what did you gain from those experiences? I apologize, I'm trying not to sneeze. But what did what gifts did you get from those experiences? Did you use them to, or are you using them to propel you, to push you into understanding what the dynamic you then that stands behind this kind of life, this human life? Because certainly there's a dynamic you that supersedes this robotic, automated character self, then that is actually having the experience of the challenges. It's not the dynamic you that is experiencing the challenges. The dynamic you created the character to so that the character could process these kinds of experiences. And so you want to keep that in mind. I find that to be very helpful when I remind myself what is really going on here. So it's like you're on a mission and you're gathering information from your experiences. Now, the kinds of experiences that you will change, all based on, again, how you perceive things, your belief systems, and again, how you perceive things, your perception. Your perception is guiding the direction of your life and the choices that will get made. And when our perception is continuously one of victimization, one of being victimized or completely oppressed with no way out, we do tend to not be able to see a way out, see anything else. Even when there's light, it becomes very challenging to see that because we become immersed um, in our pain, in our situation. The other part of this is to recognize once again that you are in the human game, which is very challenging to see it that way when you are in the throes of your situations. Um, and we tend to pick financial situations simply because that is the money thing is a huge catalyst on the planet. But even for the people that are what we would define as wealthy, they're experiencing other situations as well. There are different kinds of situations that we're all experiencing, and regardless of what they are, whether it's health or whether it's relationship or whether it's financial, whether it's an emotional issue, what we want to always remember is step back. It's the character. It's the character that's experiencing that. That's the part of you that's having this experience like you're on a hamster wheel or like you're in a maze and you're trying to find your way out. That's the part of us that's in this virtual game trying to understand it. And that's why it becomes so important that we find those moments when we are able to stop ourselves in the midst of the chaos, in the midst of the fire, and be reminded. It's like you're jolted into a reminder. You close your eyes and you remember, wait a second, this is a giant game. This is a human game. Technically, it's not real, but it feels real to me. It feels real to the character. Who's me? The character. The character is processing the experience through what? Through this body. And this body is designed to do what? To process emotions, to process the experiences. And that's what's so dynamic about this human experience is we get to feel and we get to process those experiences. Now, again, you go back to how you interpret those experiences. Can you leave that place of what you felt happened to you or what was happening to you? Can you leave that place? Or are you still carrying it, 20 years later? Whether it be the person that you're angry with or um, just not being able to move beyond um, oppressive experiences. You still carry it. Are you in financial wealth right now, but you still can't get past the fear of running out of money again? I mean, so there's all these things and there that we face, and they're all the game. They're all the game, and we get lost in the game. We just become immersed. It's like we're in this sort of a sphere of that experience, and you become addicted to that experience. So again, going back to the fact that on a daily basis we are encountering something, we have to stop and we have to remind ourselves that this is really, truly just a game. It's an incredible game. It's a cosmic game. And for anybody out there that's saying, you know, this is no game. This is, people are going through hard times, going through to real situations. Because I know I'll get somebody posting it in the comments or something like that. Well, let me tell you, if I were to tell you all the things that I have lived through, which I would not say here, but all the things that I have lived through, um, I'm not somebody that's just coming at you, philosophically. I have survived some real interesting situations, and it's enriched me. And what all I can say to you is this: until you're able to step away, to really begin to step away and see what or hear what I'm saying or see what I'm saying or do a little bit more even research scientifically, then don't say that that it's we are the observer or you understand quantum physics and then you throw in but even though but it's going to be up to the individual to be able to put all of that information to work, to put it to work. And in the workshops, I always talk about building a foundation, which is really important because that foundation that you build is all of what you've come to understand. Yes, the science of what you've come to understand. It becomes very important to use the science of how we are experiencing reality. The fact that it is a virtual game, the fact that it is that we are much more beyond these physical bodies. The fact that it is holographic, the fact that it is the observer that affects reality, what is being seen. It's the observer that allows things to be crystallized, the experiences to be crystallized. You have to have that kind of foundation for when those rocky moments come, for when you're trying to get through the challenges in your life on a daily basis, whether it be at work. Remind yourself everybody else around you is playing a role. They're characters. They're playing a role. What role do they play in your game? What role do they have in your script? Your mate, your spouse, your children, your friends, the neighborhood you live in, the company that you have, the business that you're attempting to start, or whatever, school that you're going to, the experience that you're having there. It's all part of the game experience, but for us, we take it in as these final experiences, where this is it. This is all we can see. No peripheral vision. We only see that this is what we're dealing with. We must be able to step back and see that it is the grander part of you that has orchestrated this human experience, and that robotic part of you is playing out the game. It's playing it out mainly based on patterns, mainly based on memories, living in the past, going back to the past, retrieving outcomes from the past, and using that information to create um, sometimes more challenges in the future. So step back and realize, just take a deep breath and realize it's the character that's experiencing the challenges. It's not the grander part of me that is doing that. So, what is it that I am getting from this experience? How am I perceiving it? How am I perceiving the rest of the world? Hmm? How am I interpreting what I think is going on with me and what's going on in the world? And how does what's going on in the world relate to me? How am I relating it to myself? What kind of fears am I integrating from those supposed external experiences Because man, I tell you, it's a buffet of experiences. Where are we in a, we're in an ocean of possibilities. Everything is possible. So where's your focus? Where do you put your focus? Where have you placed your focus? Um, you know, what are the gifts that you have gotten from all of these experiences that you've had, that you're having right now? For some people that feel like they can't get up, they've fallen and they can't get up. Getting up can be really, really tough, but you have to be driven and you have to know that I am alive, so to speak, in this body. And as long as I am breathing in this game experience, there is opportunity. Every situation presents you with an opportunity. So as long as there is life in this virtual game, you have an opportunity to become more than that moment that you've been presented with, or that extended moment then that you might feel like you've been living for the last 5 years or 10 years. um, and not to place blame on anyone. You can't place blame on anyone. They're playing their role. Why are they playing that role in your life? Look at that. They're playing their role. Why are you still there? Why are you still dealing with it? If you're miserable in whatever the situation is, whether it be work or a relationship or a business partner, or I said a job. Um, why are you still dealing with it? What are the reasons that you've given to yourself? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Stop going, to that other person in the sense of what they've done. Come back to you. Why are you still dealing with those situations, those people, those conditions? Um, why are you making the same choices over and over and over again? Don't say, but I'm a good person. Why does this always happen to me? That's the game again right there. That shouldn't even come up. I'm a good person. Why do I keep getting in these kinds of relationships? You gotta figure that out. Be honest with yourself. That is the key. Honesty with oneself. In order to be able to see clearly how you can navigate through the challenges. And there are those moments when you really hear what I'm saying and you're able to step back, um, that you will find laughter. You will find yourself laughing in the most, what would be considered the most intense experiences. And family members and friends would think you are crazy that you are laughing in your situation. And people always say, you're always laughing. You laugh so much. Because you know what? Because it is all funny. The game is on us. It's very funny. My life is funny to me. And I've cried and laughed all at the same time. I'm crying, and then I realize how ridiculous it is, and the fact that I suddenly have dived into the experience, and I am, just completely consumed by it, and I have bought into it. And in that moment, that part of me, it suddenly I wake up and I just start laughing. I'm like, gosh, I can't believe you fell into this hook, line, and sinker. And then go, okay, okay, all right, okay, let's get it together. Pull myself up. But this game, as I say, it's no joke, but at the same time, it is a joke. So health problems, whatever it is you're dealing with, just know ask who is it that's really having these issues. It's not the dynamic you, it's the character. It's the character that gets on stage, the stage of life here. That's who does all of this, and character has other characters to play with. All the people around you, your environment, everything. Nothing is happening by chance in one's life. everything, that even where you place the chair or your cup, um, everything is in the position that it's in, including you, where you've planted yourself, for a reason. It's just all part of how you laid out your script. Yeah, but my childhood situation, yes, I get it, I understand. Um, but start somewhere. Start with you, and the truth of what you think, what you believe, and how you keep making those same choices, perhaps, and what you can do to begin to make different choices. All right, well, I hope this helps someone. I just thought I would chat on that a little bit because of all the emails I get, and because I'm very familiar with the challenges. Very familiar. So anyway, but in the end, it is an incredible game. And like Louis Armstrong says, what a wonderful world. Don't be fooled by what appears to be going on out there. Don't be fooled by it. All right. Have an incredible next moment. Until next time, visit www.spiritinform.com. See you then.